Hi, I'm Patrick Lowe, Canadian Film Geek Esquire. In the 1980s, the best Canadian films made during the decade were first-time features made on budgets on par with used car prices that would woo audiences and critics alike at the Cannes or Toronto film festivals, get picked up for international distribution, make a big splash in New York, and put Canada on the cinematic map. This is what happened to Patricia Rozema when her first feature, I've Heard the Mermaid Singing, got picked up by Harvey Weinstein via Miramax in 1987. While Guy Maddin's first feature, Tales from the Gimli Hospital, became a cult hit in the late 80s thanks to Ben Barinholtz, who distributed Eraserhead and El Topo. However, in this country, there are many one-time, first-time, zero-budget features that fell beneath the radar that, in my opinion, deserve to be seen again, and now can be, thanks to VOD. So I'd like to bring to your attention two independent features made out of the prairies in the 80s that both take a unique view on what happens after the apocalypse. Wheat Soup and Savannah Electric. Wheat Soup, made in 1987 by Regina filmmakers Gerald Saul and Brian Stockton, is a quirky cross between Waiting for Godot and Jim Jarmusch, made only for $15,000, the first independent feature film ever to be produced out of Saskatchewan. While Savannah Electric by Winnipeg's Perry Mark Stratichuk is a colorful, fast-paced, avant-garde piece of industrial science fiction shot on the sand dunes of the Carberry Desert and in an abandoned malt factory for only $30,000. Visually, the two films couldn't be more different. One is black and white minimalism with a comic edge. The other is an avant-garde cross between Mad Max and Andrei Tarkovsky on speed. Yet both visually express on peanuts what the Canadian future will bring. One whimsical and stoic, the other bleak but amazing to watch. All the more impressive considering the time these films were made, with no CGI or Adobe After Effects, just archaic 16mm and 20th century lab costs. Wheat Soup describes itself as a free-form depressionist film in 6 parts. The first part, The Agoraphobic, features Gerald Saul himself as a bored soul with a severe fear of going outdoors. Eventually, he overcomes his phobia. Unfortunately for him and the Earth, the Great Flattening has come upon the world, which might be a hail of falling cartoon anvils or some kind of nuclear war. It's never made really clear.
Ever since the great earth flatteners came down in a shattering boom, the wheat prospered in the land newly formed for it, but only one sturdy man, only one wheat loyal man, only one wheat farmer remained.
Our attentions then turn to Sam, played by Schaff, the last wheat farmer on the planet.
Damn wheat poachers.
But one day Sam gets bored.
Even if you don't care about the tradition, think of all the people that you're feeding.
What about all the people that I'm feeding? I'd like to meet some of them for a change.
But the wheat farmer never leaves the farm.
I know, but the people never come here either. What are they trying to hide? Maybe if I met them, I wouldn't want to feed them.
You mean if you didn't like them, you would deny them food?
No, you know that's not what I mean. But how do we even know there's anyone else out there?
But the wheat farmer never leaves the farm.
and so he decides to venture into the great unknown, a journey punctuated by occasional discussions with God, played by Sandy Happy.
Come on in, Sam. Sit down.
So, Al, what do you eat?
Wheat. What else? Did you know almost everything you say is a question?
Is it?
Not a lot happens in this film, which is really the point.
I'm on a holy quest.
Quest to do what?
I'm bringing a holy relic to the promised land.
What holy relic?
Him. Ha ha ha.
Me? That's a joke, son. Ignore that. I'm bringing this holy iron to the promised land.
Where'd it come from?
I think someone dropped it on his head.
2 dimensions is all you need. That's all you got out here.
Sam meets up with various derelicts of the Great Flattening, including one of the nerdy wheat poachers, Ralph, played by Brian Stockton himself.
Oops. Good thing I had that bandage in my sack. That should stop the bleeding.
Okay. But I don't really need it. It usually stops in a few days anyway.
Which is where most of the film derives its charm, in a universe where nothing much does happen, but takes its time at a leisurely pace. Yet it does so beautifully, with its sublime black and white photography, conjuring up a vision of the Saskatchewan prairies, which is both surreal and otherworldly, including a scene which may be the longest sunset ever recorded on film. What the whole thematic point of the film is, I really can't say. In fact, I don't even think Brian Stockton or Gerald Saul knew themselves. In fact, for a free-form depressionist film in 6 parts, you really need to be in the right frame of mind, preferably an open one, to really appreciate the quiet, low-key charms of Wheat Soup. There are no spectacular special effects, no fast-paced chase scenes, no action. For that, you need to turn to Savannah Electric.
I sat there on a mournful horizon, a wondrous mechanism of acrid-smelling air and synthetic life. My ambitions were for the last remnants of the once fertile plain, in a time of irreversible decay. A failure to foresee a most serious predicament resulted in the events you are about to witness.
Seeing everything from his point of view, we follow the benefactor as he presides over Savannah Electric, a run-down futuristic factory in an unnamed barren desert, where clone workers in white-clad suits produce a valuable chemical which various characters want to smuggle out of the complex to restore the outside desert to its previous state. 2 main characters, mute throughout the whole film, serve as protagonists. H.A. Rock, a lone bounty hunter who shoots down would-be smugglers, and Jarrett Stone, a factory worker who, after witnessing the killing of one of his co-workers and experiencing a vision during a virtual reality session, turns smuggler himself as he tries to flee through the factory's monolith of mazes with H.A. Rock hot on his tail. For the most part, this is really a silent film. There is virtually no human dialogue, and we are at the mercy of the benefactor's narration and POV to keep track on what's going on. But what makes this such a rewarding experience is viewing the colorful 80s visuals and fast montages, which suggest Ridley Scott's science fiction on a shoestring, and its convincing miniatures, video imagery, barren deserts, hissing pipes, and bright clouds of vapor. Perry Stratachuk is able to create a world of metropolis on amphetamines. And while it may not be industrial light and magic, the feature special effects, while brief, are still impressive, including the film's very effective climax. So if at times it's difficult to comprehend, it still remains one of the best first-time science fiction films produced in this country, alongside David Cronenberg's Shivers and Vincenzo Natali's Cube. Both films were released to little fanfare, each playing to only one festival, although both films were reviewed by Cinema Canada, and Savannah Electric was picked up briefly for home video distribution by North American Pictures in the late 80s. Thankfully now, due to the hard work of Zelko Entertainment, both of these unique features can now be seen online, as well as the special edition of Savannah Electric in black and white with digital after effects and an original score by Stratochuk himself. So watch both features and see if you agree with me that even in the most remote regions of the world, including the Canadian prairies, a unique and visionary cinema is always possible. I'm Patrick Lowe, signing off until next time, Megwitch.